All right, so it was the biggest networking event of the year. There were going to be important business leaders, university officials, and lots of local entrepreneurs in the room. And like most networking events, I expected a night full of awkwardness with strangers and too many bathroom breaks. But this was actually different. After coming to these events for so many years as a student, I knew a lot of people in that room. So I spent my night saying, hey, how are you? It's great to see you. Very good. And I felt kind of important. But then as I took the bus home, I reflected on that experience, and I couldn't help but feel that it was very surface level. Like I really didn't actually have any interesting conversations. So I relayed these feelings to my friend and thought about why aren't these events better? Because he shared the same exact perspective. So luckily, that bus came home, it pulled into our innovation space where my soon-to-be partner in crime, Matt, was waiting there.
Yes, so after wondering why weren't events better, we decided we're going to make a better event. So instead of an afterthought, networking was the entire point. Instead of a huge group of 100 people, it was tiny, just 8. And instead of surface level introductions, we went deep. And the big thing here is that we set a date right then. You don't wait, you just make a promise right now, and you go. This forces you to start creating now and create well. And from this, a networking event for introverts came to be, where 8 people made beautifully deep connections over about 2 hours. And the crazy thing here, and the great thing here, is that you don't need all of the answers right now to start. So fast forward about 6 months, and we have an extra day in the Bay Area after being Fabs at the last meetup. We're wandering around San Jose State University's campus, and Zack says to me, dude, we have to do a 20,000 Passions event right here, right now. And a 20,000 Passions event is so simple. You just get someone to write down something they're passionate about and stick it anywhere. So all we really needed was some sticky notes and Sharpies, and we carry these things around. But we also wanted to do this event differently. Instead of talking to 1,000 people for a few seconds, which we'd already done, we wanted to talk to 20 people for a half an hour each. And we achieved this in a beautifully simple way by just asking why. If asking someone what they're passionate about gets them to light up, asking them why they're passionate about it, and listening to the stories they tell will set them on fire.
And I still remember this one moment from that event where somebody came up to us and he wrote his passion as seeing past the surface. So I asked him, what does that mean to you? Why are you passionate about that? And he went on to tell us a deep story about how he's often been labeled as an addict. And he strives to see past the surface to recognize the humanity in others who have been given the same label. It was a powerful moment. So that night, we flew back to Delaware. We were riding our post-meetup high, and we had a meeting with other innovation leaders on campus to align on what our next event was going to be. These were some of the ideas, and the common theme was empowerment. Students wanted to make their voices heard. At the same time, I always loved the idea of an open mic for stand-up comics. It's a place where they can go up and test new material in front of a live audience, and it's okay to fail. So, merging these two things together, Workshop Open Mic was created, where we created an event where people had 30 minutes to come up with a workshop and 10 minutes to teach it that same exact night.
So we're midway through this event, and one of these workshops starts with, I'm going to teach you about the history of the first military submarine. Now, I don't know about you, but I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be the most boring thing I've ever heard. But it wasn't. It was so much fun. We made a Lego model. We took drawings. And to see this student's excitement when we got engaged with history was incredible. And the thing is, submarines aren't boring. I was afraid of giving up control. What are the chances that someone else could pick a topic as interesting as I could? And how could someone else have a breadth of experience that I don't? Obviously, they can, and they do. As with all of you, clearly, people are what make an event so special. It's not about having the right content. It's not about giving a great talk. It's about harnessing the people in the room to make something amazing.
So Matt and I like to make silly little graphs like this one, and we always thought that one day we would just get together and put all these graphs and make a book. So we thought if we're gonna get together and do this, we might as well invite other people to join us. So Book in a Day was created. And Book in a Day is basically a hackathon for writing a book. So we charged $25, not to make a profit, but so we could have food and caffeine for an entire day. Complete failure. One attendee showed up, and he was in the midst of a fast. So we didn't even eat the food. But boy, did he have some amazing stories that would go in his book. So, other than to push your imagination about what an event could look like, we think there are a few key lessons in this presentation.
So lesson 1, set a date, make a flyer. Something that we feel really strongly is important is to pick a date and make a promise right now. This forces you to start creating now, creating fast, and to create often. Second, be present. As we saw in the pop-up 20K Passions, a lot of events have something that just really makes it magical. And if you have your head in a script, or if you're not paying attention, you're not going to see these things and steer into them to harness them.
And lesson 3 is tap into the people and design for participation. The magic doesn't happen up here. The magic happens between the different attendees in the audience. And as facilitators, as leaders, as a nice little sign in the D.school reminds us, it's not about you. It's about the other people and creating the space for them to thrive around you. So, the question we want to leave you all with is, how might we design space for others to make the magic? Thank you. Yeah.